In every creative journey, there are roadblocks. There are periods of time where it just feels like you cannot move forward, where you're stuck where you are, everything's demoralizing, and you may even want to quit. These are natural things to feel. Writer's block is something that a lot of people fear, but it is just a story you're telling yourself. And we're going to explore a lot about this today and tools and strategies to help you get through it. There's a couple reasons that this happens, but it is a very natural stage of any creative in their journey. Oftentimes, we get inspired by these incredible people who we look up to, our idols in whatever genre you're in, be it music, songwriting, art, animation, story writing, everything. You have someone that you idolize, someone who inspires you, and you love what they do. You know that you have some sort of potential to create stuff like that too. And when you start, you realize just how hard it can be in those beginning stages. You see where they are and you see where you are. And there's such a gap between them that it is demoralizing beyond imagining for you to even think that you could ever actually truly get there. There's a safety in not trying that traps a lot of people, because if you believe that it's possible for you to do things like your favorite artists, but you never try, you don't challenge that belief, so it's not broken. You kind of have this false sense of, oh yes, I could do that too. I could even maybe have done it better. But as soon as you start trying, that facade shatters in front of you. And you realize that it takes a lot of work and a lot of effort. And that's ultimately the solution, is to just keep going. And it can be really hard on certain days. I'm sure everybody who's done these types of things knows that it can be demoralizing. You can beat yourself up and think that you're not good enough, but you are. You just need to keep going. You're often your biggest critic and your worst nightmare as far as the stories that you can tell yourself. But that's one thing that you can actually change. It is a story you're telling yourself. So don't feed it. Don't let that story of I'm terrible, I can never become like they are, actually control you. Start telling yourself a new story instead of, yes, there is a gap between where I want to be and where I am now, but I can see my next step. And that next step is to just create something more. And this is ultimately the thing you need to do. Create something. Anything. Writer's block is a belief that a lot of people have, but it's honestly BS. Writer's block doesn't actually happen unless you let it happen. You can always make something, and it can be crap, and you don't have to show it to anyone, but you still make progress, you still move forward, and then you get into making something that's better. It's not about the quality of everything you make. It's about the quantity of things that you're making, the amount of time and effort that you put into the process. And over that, you start to learn, you start to grow. Every single channel on YouTube that you watch, every single person ultimately is saying the same thing, that it's, you just need to get your head down and start working and just do and keep going. There's a lot of helpful tips and tricks and strategies, but everyone wants a hack, and there isn't one. The hack is that you have to just do work. And it might not be what you want to hear, but it is the most helpful advice that I could ever give you. And this isn't just the advice that you need to hear right now. This is also advice that I need to hear from time to time. Because right now I'm kind of feeling stuck, and I'm going to make a deal with myself. This is one of my favorite strategies. I'm going to set a 5-minute timer, and I'm going to just write some music. And when that timer expires, I can stop. But it's a way to just get myself moving, to get myself some forward progress, to take one more step. And then wade through the badness, because there's going to be many days where you don't feel like doing it. There's going to be weeks, months even, if you let yourself stop, where you just get hung up and you don't move forward. But it's easier than your story is telling you to actually just take another step, to just get something out there. And oftentimes when you just throw crap at a wall or in a DAW or on a piano or whatever, it opens some space for you to move forward onto the next thing. So don't be hypercritical in this stage right now. Don't put yourself under this spotlight of, I want to be where people are. Use it as a chance to just do something, learn something, and better yet, just try something silly and crazy and wild that you don't think would ever work, that you don't think you'd ever show to someone, but play with it like crazy until it just turns into something that maybe you'll use later, or maybe not. Totally fine. Anyways, I hope this helped, and if it did, please give me a like and a subscribe, where you can find more music production tips or help when you're feeling down, because these are very normal things to go through, and it might not hit as hard if you realize that other people go through it too, because the hardest part is usually thinking that you're alone in it. So you're not. And reach out, talk. Tell me if you're feeling like this or if you ever have before. And I hope it gets better. And I know it will.